Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, how are you? If you're coming back, thank you so much for coming back. I just want to let you know that all of my socials are in the description: my Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Redbubble, and Patreon if you'd like to support this channel. Also, I just want to remind you to smash that like button, turn on notifications if you'd like to see more LGBTQ plus content from this face right here. So let's get into the video. So I've been planning this video for a while actually. I want to start getting into reacting to more TikTokers, and the first person that I was planning on reacting to is Ace Dad Advice. So for those of you who don't know who Ace Dad Advice is, he is a TikToker who has almost 100,000 followers on TikTok, I want to say, and he talks about all things asexual. So I was like, I talk about things that are asexual. It's a perfect combination. Also, he literally followed me on Twitter, so hi Cody. I hope you are okay with me making this video. So I'm going to be reacting to some of his TikToks today, so let's get into watching Ace Dad TikToks.
What if you're never interested in sex, but your body sometimes is? Nothing to worry about. You're all good.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize that you can be asexual and still have a libido.
So arousal is the physical feeling that you feel in the moment of your body waking up and being ready to do a thing. Libido describes the intensity and frequency of that feeling of arousal that you have.
I love how he explains things.
Sometimes it's high, you means you have it a lot. Sometimes it's low, means you hardly ever have it. And sexual attraction, which is an attraction to a person or a kind of person that makes you want to have sex with them. Arousal is I'm horny now. Libido is this is how I'm horny. Sexual attraction is I am horny for.
That might be the greatest way I've ever heard that explained, like ever. Holy hell. Even I'm like learning here. See, this is why I love him. He literally, Cody, love you. I literally fucking love you because you explain things so well and sound so educated. I've been out as demisexual and talking about being on the asexual spectrum for, well, I've been out since I was like 15, 16 and like talking about it online since like I was 19 or 20. The way he talks about it and how he explains everything, it just, I wish I could be this good with words, but I'm not. If you ever want to learn about asexuality, go look at his TikTok because it's insane. Just go through his videos. Like, just do it.
Is there a difference between agosexuality and gray sexuality? So let's start with some definitions. Gray sexuality is an identity on the asexual spectrum that describes people who sometimes experience sexual attraction and sometimes don't. As the name implies, it's kind of the gray area between not experiencing and experiencing sexual attraction. Agosexual describes people who are comfortable with sex in the abstract, thinking about it, talking about it, consuming content about it, but not comfortable with it in the practical, actually doing it. Gray sexuality describes someone's relationship to sexual attraction, whereas agosexuality is really describing someone's relationship to sexual behavior. You can be gray and ago, or you could be gray or ago. Because while they're both on the asexual spectrum, they're describing relationships to different things. Hope that helps.
I've actually had a couple people ask me to do videos on agosexuality and I didn't really understand it, and I still don't understand it as much as I would really like to before speaking about it. I do have research to do, but that actually clears it up a lot more for me, and I definitely understand it more than I ever have.
Are you still asexual if you feel physical arousal? Asexuality is not or rarely experiencing sexual attraction. And arousal is not attraction. So let's think about it this way. When someone says they're aroused, they can be like a little bit aroused, or they can be like really aroused.
I just noted.
There's a degree to that. It's kind of like volume. But sexual attraction describes something different. You can kind of think of it as like the song that the volume button is
like adjusted. His metaphors are so good, I can't.
About being sexually attracted to people of the opposite gender. Maybe it is about being attracted to people of the same gender. Maybe it's about being sexually attracted to no one at all. The song isn't the volume. One cannot experience sexual attraction in any particular direction, but still from time to time experience physical arousal.
So I think this is probably one of the biggest questions that people ask about asexual is they're like, oh, you just don't have sex, or you just don't get aroused, or you don't have a libido because you're asexual. And it's like, no, They're literally different things. Like he said in the first thing and explained it really well, they are three completely separate feelings. And I feel like when talking about asexuality, people have a really hard time distinguishing or being like, oh, because sexual attraction and arousal and libido all go together. They don't all go together. You can separate them. It's really good to be able to have the language to be like, hey, not sexually attracted, but I still do get aroused, or I still do have a libido. And especially people like demisexuals and gray sexuals who do have those feelings, sometimes it can be like, well, am I actually on the asexual spectrum if I'm feeling that way? Well, yes, you can, because asexuality is a spectrum, and because you're not feeling it as much as allosexual people, or you're feeling it under certain specific criteria. Like me, I'm demisexual. I only feel sexual attraction when I have a very close bond with someone, which normally for me takes about 6 to 9 months if I'm going to be feeling those feelings. Yes, you can have a libido or arousal and still be asexual, because asexuality is just not feeling the sexual attraction towards anyone, really.
Can you use aspec as a label if you're not sure where you fall on the spectrum?
I
Yeah,
do.
Absolutely. That's
I
a
absolutely
perfect way
do.
to use aspec. Aspec includes any identity on the asexual spectrum and can also be used to describe aromantic identities on that spectrum as well. So if you're aspec, you can be anything in that wide range of identities. So if you aren't sure, but you know you're somewhere in there, aspec is a great thing to use.
So I 100% agree with what he said. I know for myself, whenever I don't want to necessarily go into the fact that I'm demisexual, because a lot of people don't really respect micro labels as much as they should. But when I don't feel comfortable saying I'm demisexual and having to explain all of that and people being like, oh, that's not a thing, I normally say I'm aspec or I'm asexual, so that people can like get the general idea. Of course, if you don't know where you fall on the asexual spectrum, saying, yeah, I'm aspec, I don't know where I fall, but I feel comfortable under this umbrella term, completely fine, completely valid. You don't always have to know a specific label under an umbrella term to still use the umbrella term if that's what makes you feel comfortable.
Okay, so what does a crush feel
I feel like this is really
I've
hard
got this crush right now on this woman that
explain
I've been talking
sometimes.
to, and here's what that crush feels like. I get like really excited whenever she texts me. It's kind of like a warm, fuzzy feeling when I get to chat with her and banter with her. I just look forward to hearing from her and like saying something funny over a text message that makes her laugh, or sending her something funny. I just am like wanting to connect with her, and this crush that I feel is just me being eager to make connections with her, and feeling kind of like warm and fuzzy inside about it. I mean, that's what it feels like for me. I don't know if that's true for everybody else, but for a Cody crush, that's what that's like.
So I definitely relate to what he was saying about having crushes. I've only had 3 or 4 in my life, I'd say. Most of them on people I know and are friends with, so that's embarrassing. Regardless, I definitely relate to the wanting to be close to them, wanting to talk to them more, wanting to have them want to be around me as much as I want to be around them. It can also be pretty hard for me to tell the difference between a crush and like platonically wanting to be friends with someone, because when I do want to be friends with someone, I still get that like pull of, oh, I want to be around you, I want to get to know you, I want to talk to you, and that kind of thing. So sometimes it's hard for me to be able to tell the difference. But the thing that I feel like pushes it over the edge for me is like wanting to do more romantic things with them, like cuddle and hold hands and do stuff one-on-one with the other person. And I think about them a lot, like embarrassingly a lot. It's really sad how much of an actual romantic I am, because if you knew me, you would be like, what are you talking about? You're not like that. And it's like when I have a crush, I'm like, oh, I hate this. When I start developing a crush, y'all, I hate it. It's gross. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't want these feelings to happen every time I get a crush, because I'm so not used to it. And I'm like, can we not have these feelings? I just want to push them away and be like, no. Get out of here. I don't want to deal with this. I like the way he explained it, and that's what having a crush feels like for anyone who kind of wonders about that kind of stuff. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below if you have seen his TikToks and what you think of Cody, because I absolutely love him. Also, Cody, if you're watching this, hi. Thank you for everything that you do. Literally, it's an inspiration, and I only hope to be able to do half of what you do and explain it as well as you do. Thank you all again, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!